fee, a generous credit limit, and a low 4.9% APR for 6 months. After that, a still low 14.99% APR. Life can be a walk on the beach if you play your cards right.
In this half hour, Weather Center AM with the national forecast, then TravelWise, the weekend outlook, and Stormwatch with the tropical update. Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Well, the clouds were increasing last night as preparations were underway for today's annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And this morning, rain has moved in to put a damper on those holiday festivities. Good morning and happy Thanksgiving. I'm Cheryl Lemke. Welcome to this edition of Weather Center.
And I'm Will Annan. Much of the country today is going to be enjoying some wonderful weather on this Thanksgiving, but in New York City and much of the Northeast, your holiday is going to be a wet one. And a few other spots around the country. Houston is going to be seeing some dense fog this morning, but the sun will come out this afternoon. Chicago is going to be sunny and mild. Cleveland mostly cloudy and also mild, while Boston, Mass will see some rain, and that may be locally heavy at times, especially this afternoon. Now with more details, here's Cheryl.
Well, it's turning out to be a turkey of a day across the Northeast, pardon the pun, but we have a low pressure area that's pulling its way across the east, and it continues to spread a canopy of clouds and rain. Currently, we're seeing the shield of rain running from the eastern Finger Lakes in the St. Lawrence Valley and extending southward towards the mid-Atlantic states. The one bit of good news, though, with this precipitation that we are seeing is that most of it has taken the form of rain as opposed to snow. So it goes to show you just how mild the air mass has been across the area, and again, most of this is just liquid precipitation. Right now, though, we see the rain coming in around Watertown. More sloppy weather, too, for Syracuse and Utica, Binghamton and Elmira, New York. And certainly some very sloppy weather, too, as we head over towards the Big Apple. Now, I know a lot of you may be heading down to the parade route, taking in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade today. If that is the case, take a jacket with you. Temperatures are on the cool side in the 40s and 50s this morning. More importantly, though, take the rain ponchos and the rain gear because the rain will be hanging around for a good part of the morning. Eventually, though, we'll start to see some improvements around the Big Apple come later this afternoon. Now, most of the rain so far for New York City has been rather light, but we've had pockets of heavier rain coming in across eastern Pennsylvania. Right now, some heavy downpours for Allentown. We've had some heavier rains, too, for Philadelphia, and some very heavy rain, too, all the way down towards Dover, Delaware. So, again, watch out very carefully this morning across the Northeast, as we certainly have some wet highways and byways across the area. Most of the rain, though, will be tapering off by later this afternoon, so some improvements for D.C. up towards New York City. However, around Boston, we're still calling for basically a steady rain event for a good part of the afternoon, and then a chance for some heavier rains, too, lifting northward towards down east Maine. Snow will be very hard to find, but you will see some snowfall for the higher elevations, basically across the Adirondacks and some of the higher points across the White and the Green Mountains. There will be a little coating of snowfall today. And again, temperatures cool, but definitely not as bad as what they could be for this time of the year. Across the Midwest, too, enjoying some rather mild temperatures by November standards. Typically, the high for Chicago for this time of the year should be in the mid-40s. Right now, you're sitting at 42 degrees for Chi-Town. So again, not too bad compared to how cold it could be. We're seeing high pressure building in across most of the nation's midsection, so beautiful Thanksgiving Day. Plenty of sunshine as you're heading off to grandmother's house this afternoon around Kansas City. Beautiful weather, too, for St. Louis and for Chicago. Now let's check out the weather scene across the rest of the country. Here's Will.
Thanks a lot, Cheryl. The thunderstorms that plagued parts of the Carolinas overnight are now moving away, and you in the south are headed for a beautiful Thanksgiving Day. I'll show you that we're going to be looking at the absence of cloud cover this morning after we saw some stormy conditions last night over parts of the Carolinas, mainly North Carolina, with some big-time thunderstorms whipping on through across Kentucky and eastern Tennessee into around Asheville, North Carolina. Just about everything right now is moving offshore, as you will see in just a moment. There are some high clouds floating across Florida this morning, but you talk about a fabulous day shaping up. It's going to be across the Sunshine State, where once again today, just about everybody will be in the 80s, and it's going to be nothing but sunshine from coast to coast today. We'll show you that there were some problems this morning, and that is the yellow on the weather map, and that is dense fog. Keep the low beams on this morning. Drive carefully, especially along Interstates 10, I-75 through South Georgia, extreme northern Florida, and the same thing again along Interstate 10 along the upper Texas coastline and the southwestern Louisiana, where again the fog is extremely thick this morning, also up towards Jackson, Mississippi. But that will begin to lift very, very rapidly, we think, by mid-morning. Here comes a look at the rainfall, which did blot much of North Carolina last evening through early on this morning, on the brunt of it right now. And there still are some very heavy thunderstorms. Eastern Norfolk and Elizabeth City all the way down towards New Bern are basically offshore right now. That's the end of the rainfall. You're back to sunshine for the upcoming day, and it should be some fabulous weather coming back into the picture. Houston, Texas right now with some dense fog around 67 degrees. You pick up the 40s and some 30s over the Tennessee Valley, back in Arkansas and southern Missouri. But take a look at the state of Florida right now. Still 70 degrees at Tampa, 70 degrees in Miami, 73 degrees in the Keys. And later on this afternoon, check on some of these numbers. If you happen to be vacationing and spending some time in Florida, 80-degree temps today, tomorrow, the following day, not too much of a chance of any rainfall. And looks like today for the upcoming day, about 83, Orlando, Tampa, and also right around Fort Myers. Heading back towards the west coast, very briefly, we're going to talk about yet another developing storm. This one right here probably is going to be plaguing central and southern California by the time we look at the upcoming weekend. We'll have more of that with our forecast a little bit later on. Now with a look at your national forecast, let's go back to Cheryl.
It's beauty, my downtown dream is you.